Everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you remain standing, please. As the legislative authority in Asheville, we impact the lives of families, businesses, and schools. With such a weighty responsibility, we believe it is wholly appropriate to petition for help from a higher authority in the discussion, reflection, and dispensing of our duties as council members. A moment of silence, please. You may be seated. Roll call, Jesse.
Present.
Ron.
Present.
Jeremy.
Present.
Dave.
Here.
Daryl. Jeff.
Here.
Were there any questions on the minutes of the last meeting?
No questions.
I'll make a motion to pass.
As long as you don't have any questions. Okay. Motion pass. Ron.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
No other discussion. All in favor? Roll call. Jesse.
Yes.
Roll call. Ron.
Yes.
Yes.
Jeremy. Dave.
Yes.
Daryl.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I do need a motion to approve the amended agenda. We do have a speaker tonight who, she did reach out to me to get put on the agenda last week. I forgot to on the agenda that I sent out to you guys last week.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the amended agenda. Second.
Roll call.
Jesse.
Ron.
Here.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Daryl. Jeff.
Yes.
And her name is Rachel Cutzley.
Well, good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak today. My name is Rachel Cutzley, and I work for Solar United Neighbors. We're a national nonprofit, and we've been working here in Ohio since 2016. I'm here to talk to you tonight about our Central Ohio co-op, solar co-op that we just opened recently, and about the opportunity to partner with the Village of Asheville on this program. Next slide. Just kidding. Nope. There it goes. All right. No, that's fine. So like I said, we are a national 501c3 nonprofit. We are vendor neutral, which means that we are not ourselves a solar vendor or an installer. We provide independent, unbiased advice to consumers to help them make good decisions around going solar. We're talking mostly rooftop solar for households. We help people go solar, join together, and fight for their energy rights. So we understand that people go solar for a lot of different reasons, and we support all of them. Going solar can help you save money on your electric bills. It can help you be more energy independent. It can help you be more resilient in case of disruptions to the electric grid, and it also brings environmental benefits. So like I said, we support all those reasons for going solar, and really welcome anybody who's interested. There we go. What is a solar co-op? So our solar co-op programs are group purchases in which households, individuals all come together to go solar at the same time, to go through the process together. So our role as an organization is to help educate the group of consumers. We help them understand what it is being proposed, understand how solar works, the economics of it, and they in turn get a better deal on their solar because the installer is getting a whole bunch of customers all at one time, and they don't have to do the typical customer acquisition that they would otherwise have to do. This means that consumers typically get the best value on installation. They get a lower price than they would if they went solar individually, and they're getting support through the process, and they can connect with other folks who are all going solar at the same time. So how do we partner with local governments? So as I mentioned, Solar United Neighbors, we play kind of the technical role in coordinating the solar co-op. We're kind of the liaison with the solar installers and the families, and we rely very heavily on local governments or other local organizations to help us do outreach and locate those households that might be interested in going solar. So we work with a lot of different partners to connect with the community. So sharing information, promoting our events and informational sessions, and connecting with local community groups. For our Central Ohio Co-op that just started, we're working with the City of Columbus rather, and other local organizations to help us again connect to that local community. Our co-op for Central Ohio is open to Franklin County as well as Pickaway, Fairfield, Licking, all the counties that surround Franklin County. So we then recognize our materials in our co-op materials and our branding so that it's a mutually beneficial partnership. That is all I have for you, but I would be very happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, Rachel, I have a question. So let's say if, after this meeting and, folks at home see it through streaming, if they were interested in getting involved in this, should they reach out to your organization or reach out to you directly, or what would that look like?
Certainly, and I should have put a QR code, but I missed that. But you can register for the co-op online. Our webpage is solarunitedneighbors.org. If you add /Central Ohio, that will take you directly to the co-op group. It's free to sign up. There's no commitment to join, and you can go through the whole process to really learn about solar, again, to make an educated decision. So you're not committed to actually paying anything until you sign a contract with the installer. But you're more than welcome to just join and go through the process to learn, and see what it's all about.
Did you bring any handouts?
I do have some handouts here. So there's two pages there. One is about partnering for our co-ops, and then the other is actually the information session that goes to the public about the co-ops. It mentions our Solar 101 presentations. That's kind of our main educational type presentation, and I will be giving one in 2 weeks over at the Lithopolis Library, the Wagnall Memorial Library. And so that's about an hour-long presentation. It goes really in depth on the different technical pieces of solar, the economics of it, different financing options, with the idea of having educated consumers who can make good choices. And I apologize, I guessed wrong on the number of council members.
That's okay. Okay.
Save a tree.
And Rachel, I thank you for your presentation and the handouts. Just to clarify here, are you looking for an Asheville solar co-op as sort of a sub-entity to what you already have, or are you just asking folks to join the co-op that is already in existence?
So it would be part of the Central Ohio solar co-op, but we would love to have the Village of Asheville as a partner and helping us get out the word and maybe host a local event, a local information session for the residents of Asheville.
Yeah, I guess that I'll pony onto that as far as, so you're looking for us to be a platform to help get your word out, but basically that's all you're asking for the village.
That would be it, yeah.
Okay.
I'd be happy to come down and do a presentation here in Asheville, and it would mean like publishing it in your village newsletter or on your social media. That would be fantastic.
What kind of engagement do you see from other communities, like in terms of like percentage of people who are actually utilizing this program?
Well, percentages, I don't know that I have.
Okay.
It typically, so we've been running our Columbus Co-op, I think since 2016 consistently. It might be a few hundred families a year that go through that program. It depends on the finances and everything in that particular year.
Okay.
And sorry, one more clarifying question. So as folks join this from our community, for example, right? If they're joining the Central Ohio Co-op, then I'm assuming that means they're essentially getting the group purchasing power of Franklin and Pickaway and Licking County. It's not if 100 homes in Asheville don't do it, it's not worth it. You're getting the benefit of all those other.
Correct. You're
Okay.
getting the benefit of that entire group that's going through it together. This process is a little bit unique because they've already selected the installer. So there was a request for proposals and a competitive bid process, and Sustainable Columbus and other organizations that are part of the co-op selected the installer. So they've already got pricing figured out for anybody who joins. They're looking at about $2.40 a watt, which is a fantastic price on solar. It's really competitive. So anybody in Asheville who decides to join the co-op would be offered that same pricing. There's also options to install battery storage and EV chargers, which is obviously separate.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Would the battery storage generally be adjacent structures, in attics? Do you know how that works?
My understanding is typically it goes either in your basement near like your central breaker box.
Okay.
Some are installed outside of the, like on the exterior of the house, but it depends on the technology
Yeah,
of the
okay.
battery.
Okay. Is this something that planning and zoning ought to look to see if there's any zoning discussions on solar? I don't know. Maybe it
I
ought to
think it
be,
would hurt there.
maybe a look-see.
There is a section of our zoning book about solar.
Okay.
The installers take care of the permitting and everything as part of
Okay.
their process, so that's also included in the pricing.
And
You-
with the hookup, you help the customer hook up with South Central and help
Correct.
do the purchasing of their wattage, and then also taking the cost off their home and things of that nature, electric bills.
Yes, so the installer would work with South Central to get the interconnection request set up, and then South Central has an established rate for
Purchase.
families with home solar.
Do you plan on doing any mailings in the village or anything like that, like this stuff?
We don't currently have any mailings planned. No.
Okay, okay. Who's on planning and zoning here? Okay, maybe you could,
And we are meeting tomorrow evening. I can bring it up with the group to say, let's look and see what our policy is.
yeah, just,
And then we could get back with you on meeting with the council, and if everything works well, then we can meet to say, yeah, we can put this in our monthly newsletter to get the word out, and then possibly even help you do a presentation somewhere here in the village of
Wonderful.
Asheville.
Wonderful.
okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a couple of resolutions and 3 ordinances. The first one is a resolution for first reading 07-2026. Resolution accepting and confirming infrastructure improvements for Asheville Commerce Center, Section 2 for public maintenance and operation by the Village of Asheville, and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion for approval of this?
I'll make a motion.
Is a second? Do we have any, did somebody second this?
I'll second it.
Do we have any questions regarding this ordinance, please? Resolution?
Yeah, and I know has been some email traffic, and I'll apologize that I'm a little jet lagged and just got in yesterday, so I've been playing catch up. My understanding of the intent here is that there was an infrastructure project done. Was that related to one of the new communities?
It's out by Ace Hardware.
Okay. And,
That's been in there for like 10 or 12 years.
uh-huh.
Came to me last year. He said he'd like to get the village to take it over because he's been maintaining it and taking care of it since it was put in.
Mhm.
There's a lift station in there to haul the sewage back to the plant. We're not taking that on because it's not to our specs. There is going to be a HOA to oversee that.
Okay.
And any green spaces that are in there, which are not any that I really can think of off the top of my head. Basically, all we're doing is we'll plow snow and maintain the streets.
Okay.
We've had the sewers cambered. We've had the water lines are in good shape. They're all C900. The curbs, gutters, everything's in good shape. They fixed the road later last year. Paved the entrance there, where it was all broke up. They fixed all that because that needed to be in order to get it to be dedicated to the village.
Okay. So we're taking on stuff that, as of today, is in pretty good shape.
Doesn't need anything right as far as maintenance right now. Doesn't need anything.
Sure. And then
There's
just
no-
typical wear and tear maintenance in the future.
Yeah, but there's no like anticipated any need anytime soon in the near future.
Any what?
Any anticipated need of maintenance or anything in the near future?
No, the roads are, everything's in really good shape, so, and there's really not a lot of heavy traffic or anything back there, so, it should last for quite a few years. There are some sidewalks that need to be
put in, but those will be put in as it's developed, and that'll be on the whoever develops the lot, so.
Is this just the roadway areas back there by like be it back to like the left of Ace Hardware that comes up against like the tree line, like in that area back there?
There's a culvert or a roundabout back there, and there is a lot back there.
Okay. Just so I get a visual of where it's at.
Where that last building is on your right, it's
Yeah.
basically straight across from it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I've never been all the way back there, so I was just curious. Okay.
But there's also the there's a hair salon going in there right now.
Okay.
There's also another, contractor going in that does underground cables and stuff like that. They're going in beside the barber shop. And I've heard there's another one going in behind it, but I haven't actually seen anything on it yet, so.
So you want to run this through the second and third readings, or the only thing I think
It doesn't have to pass tonight.
whatever the solicitor thought it ought to get finished, but yet we can still take it to full three.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm in favor of it,
Okay.
of going three. Anybody else?
So the second resolution is 08-2026. Resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to open a Star Ohio account and use it as an investment opportunity for the village. April, do you want to explain a little bit about that?
All it is we are required by the Ohio Revised Code to be in an investment account. Most municipalities are in Star Ohio, but we currently have a SWEEP account with Benton County. But I would like to put a significant amount of money in Star Ohio right now because they are offering higher returns.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
So these are funds that we already have as a village. We're just looking to better invest it.
Yep.
That makes sense to me.
Does it, sorry, Mayor, does it tie up the capital? Like, is there okay, so it's more like a high yield savings.
We, at any given time, will only have $300,000, and that's our primary account. Everything automatically, Jesse's familiar with it, automatically goes into our sweep account to investments.
Okay.
So all this will do is we'll probably pull a significant amount of money there, put it in Star Ohio, not close the sweep account, but probably for now, while the interest rates are good, just put it in there.
Yep. And then the only setback to that would just be that if we needed the funds immediately, it might take a day or two to get it back, to pull it back. But otherwise, that's it.
No penalty for early withdrawal?
Nope. Well, you can't, no. To answer your question, no.
Yeah, I think we were asking the same thing. There's no penalty for withdrawing the money. If we had to even draw it with zero for some reason, there's no penalty for that. Okay.
It's our money.
So in effect, would it be fair to say that it's like, your personal high yield savings account and just,
It's what
if
it
it
is.
doesn't have an ATM, it takes a day or two?
It's basically it's a high yield savings for state entities, school systems, municipalities. It's used all over the state of Ohio.
And is there a situation that you could ever foresee where we would need access to those funds in a shorter period of time than a day or two?
For as long as I've worked here, no.
Okay.
I'm allowed to do that.
Good question.
Can't say it won't happen, but
Yeah, you
It has
never
to
say
happen.
never.
Never say never.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead.
to me, it seems like this would be something we probably would want to move quicker to get it done.
Yes.
But I would say we probably should consider waiving and putting it through as an emergency to get the money where it's going to make money. But that's my take on it.
but
Well-
it's not drafted as an emergency.
No.
Okay.
So
So
We can,
Okay.
you can still
We-
waive
we
the
can.
readings, it
Yep.
was just take effect in 30 days.
right.
Gotcha.
So someone want to make a motion based on the wording there in the number one, so we do this right?
Make sure I found the right one.
yeah, it's 808-026.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
it's
got
the
it.
other.
So I move to waive the second and third readings of resolution number 082026.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call, Jesse,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Daryl.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. That'll be in 30 days, right?
There's a second reading.
And
we
yeah.
can adopt it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the motion to waive it. Now we have to adopt it, okay?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution 082026
Motion to second?
Roll call, Jesse,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dave,
Yep.
Daryl,
Yes.
Dale.
Yes.
Thank you, April. Okay.
Thank you, April.
Now then, okay.
And just to clarify, that takes effect in 30 days.
Now we have some ordinance to deal with. First of all, an ordinance for the first reading, 2026-07, an ordinance amending section 155.06, the bereavement pay of the codified ordinances of the village of Asheville. This, is there any discussion on this ordinance and what it's about?
I do have a question,
Mhm.
just on the actual ordinance itself. So I was reading through it. I didn't see where there's any discussion of back pay. Is that
We can't, no, we can't do that on this.
okay? Is there any reason why we can't, or
The solicitor says no.
okay?
It was asked.
Just moving forward.
It just changes it from this, whatever point it goes into effect.
Effective
That,
date on, yes.
Okay.
That's not emergency.
This doesn't need to be an emergency, right? Okay.
Well, my thoughts on that would be
Mhm.
is that I think, with it considering considerably affecting potential employees' pay. I mean, why would we not want to put that in effect immediately versus taking it through?
It's up to you guys.
Just waive it.
Yeah.
Waive it.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, what is the bereavement policy today?
Currently, it includes, the immediate family members are considered your basically blood relatives, as in mom, dad, spouse, children,
Mhm.
and adoptive children. This broadens it to
Okay.
include step family, or
In-laws.
in-laws.
I saw that in there.
I don't have it in front of me, I'm trying to, and it's anybody who lives in your home, like a significant other who lives, a dependent, or somebody who lives in your home.
Got it. Okay.
It broadens it quite a bit. does
Yeah.
it not?
Just
It was
no
way
pets.
outdated.
kind of more modernizing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, I think it was probably, I was minimum 25 years old when
Yeah,
it was drafted.
okay.
I can't remember when, but yeah, it needed to be updated.
All right.
I mean, it seems like we would want to put this
Put
in
it in
effect
place.
as
Because
soon
if
as
somebody
possible. I mean,
somebody has a loss,
anything
like we
can
don't
happen
wanna,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know?
I move to
Yeah.
make it an emergency.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so you want to go ahead and make a motion there based on.
Yep.
that, please?
I'll make a motion to waive second and third readings of ordinance 2026-07.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Jeff.
Yes.
Jesse, Ron,
yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dave, Daryl,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
I need a motion to adopt this ordinance that we just moved to make emergency,
Dave,
please.
Dave.
Yeah, I'll make a motion we adopt.
Can you read the number?
I'll
two?
make a motion we adopt 2026-07.
Second.
This is,
Mhm.
that would
We have to
be-
make a motion to change it
Do we
to
need to do an
emergency.
emergency on that to make it
No,
immediate?
And it wasn't drafted as an emergency.
so it
It's not
says
dra-
30 days, right?
So it'll still be 30 days,
Okay,
but
well, we
we
need to
don't have
get
to
moving
go,
on it then, yeah.
but we don't
Okay.
have to go through the 3 readings. I'll second that.
Is there any
that
further discussion on it then?
No.
Okay, Jesse,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Yes.
Dave, Daryl,
Yes.
Jeff, okay.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is 2026-08, an ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency. Okay. So we need a motion, first of all, to adopt this as an emergency, please.
Well,
Second.
I would like to waive the readings. This is, the next two are basically to spend money. The first one is, we didn't appropriate enough in the fund that you see
Mhm.
on the ordinance. So I'd like to like to appropriate just about everything that we have and available resources to it, because we still have some invoices that are going to need to be paid out of that fund. So the money's there, I just didn't appropriate it,
Okay.
and now we need to appropriate it.
So we need a motion with that number one wording here, please.
I'll make a motion for ordinance 2026-08.
Second?
You need a motion to waive the
To
readings,
waive the
correct?
readings and declare an emergency.
And the-
Oh, okay, I thought we needed a motion to read it first, sir.
Yes, sorry, thank you. We need a second to that.
I'll second it.
Is there further discussion on this? Okay, Jesse, vote.
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Okay, now we need to adopt that as an emergency, which would be the second part, please.
I'll make a move to adopt the ordinance
Resolution.
2020
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
2026-08
I second.
Second.
As an emergency.
as an
As-
emergency.
I second.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, vote. Jeff,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay,
I also need the other one. Tonight.
Does
this
the
last one.
09?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is actually,
certificate of resources.
that will allow us to add into our budget the $14+ million loan that we received for the water treatment plant construction. So because we weren't approved for the loan officially when the permanent appropriations were submitted, now we need to add them in. So that's what this will do.
Okay,
And then next council meeting, we're gonna have a similar ordinance to allow me to spend those.
okay.
So right now it's just this ordinance here is to move the funds.
Yeah, we have to notify the county auditor
Mhm.
that we're gonna be receiving this money. And that's what this ordinance will do, it notifies them that we're changing our estimated resources.
Okay.
So can you,
I'll make a motion to waive the second and third readings of the ordinance 2026-09.
second, or second to that?
We need to declare it an emergency as well.
Yeah,
and declare it an emergency.
and a second.
I'll second.
Jesse,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
And then we need a motion to adopt this ordinance as an emergency, please. Reading number 2.
So I move to adopt ordinance 2026-09 as an emergency.
And second,
Second.
any more discussion? Roll call, Jesse,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Okay. That's for that.
Thank you for the clarification here.
Okay. Old business, is there any old business? Any new business? Committee reports?
Roger, we missed, departmental reports. Were you going to come back to that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Looking at the committees here. Is there any committee reports?
Not much of a report, but for the planning, vision, and economic development, we'll want to schedule a date probably sooner than later for our next meeting. Based on guidance from the solicitor around the process for exploring a charter, we ideally would want to have something, if we decide to go that route, passed through council that we're going to engage the Board of Elections by probably mid-July. So we'll want to get on that sooner than later. So I'll work with you guys to schedule a time, but just to keep the rest of council aware.
I know tomorrow the zoning committee's meeting. If we could send a message out to everybody that's on that we want to mention and go over the solar policy.
Your tree planting with.
Yeah, the tree planting. I'm waiting to get the old flagpole and things moved out of there. They're ready. The garden club out of Circleville
Okay.
with their state funding plant trees, oak trees. We're going to get one out there. It's going to be just in front of where the flagpole is, and taking that flagpole down because there's going to be 6 flagpoles with the memorial when it's in place. So hopefully that gets moving along within the next week or two to get a tree planted.
Okay. Okay, as far as the West Side Park is coming, we're doing the layout and the groundwork now in preparation for the installation of the equipment, which the service department is putting together. And if you've been by there, it's fenced off to try to keep people and or kids out so that they don't mess with the stakes and get them moved, because it has to be very precise.
Public Service will be having our first committee meeting on May 5th.
And I know Daryl Ward, who's kind of spearheading the memorial at the park, said that the flagpole will be removed. He's hopeful that the people that are coming in next week to set these poles will have their own crane that they can lift that pole out of the ground, because we don't know how deep it is.
Yes.
And hopefully those will be installed, the poles, next week. The memorial marble and stuff is still being, I guess, he has a question whether it's being engraved or it's even been delivered yet. I think it's Wellman's that's doing that. But it's a huge piece, I guess, of marble or whatever. Are there any other committee reports? Okay. As far as the mayor's report, the only thing I know is I know there was apparently a close call by social media between a electric scooter and a golf cart and a car at Station Long. And again, I just emphasize to parents that you have to tell your kids to obey the stop signs, and that goes for golf carts too. We just don't want somebody to get hurt by being in an accident. This departmentals. April, do you have anything else to report? Bert?
The next 2 or 3 weeks, you should see the East Street, Walnut Street, Church Street buttoning up. They're going to be installing curbs next Monday. Trying to get all that mess cleaned up.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I'm sure the neighbors are all ready. Once everything gets done, then we'll go in and look at, we might put in some sidewalks and things in different areas there. We'll go in and not doing that through this project because I can do it without prevailing wage funds if I do it by itself. So we just didn't do it as part of this. The water plant, the loan on it was put on hold. Somebody was complaining to EPA for building a water plant for a data center. After some discussion, that actually got released today. So if you've heard anything about it or not, I don't know. They put it on hold a week ago, this past Friday. We met with them last Monday, and I think by Friday afternoon, late afternoon, they'd sent an email out stating that the hold had been released. That's all going back forward. So.
Okay.
Bert, I asked the same question a year ago, but am I going to be able to get a 4th of July parade down Main Street with the?
Yes, sir. That'll all be repaid.
It'll all okay.
All be done here in the next
So we're on the short end of this because it's.
We're on the very short.
Okay,
I'm saying next 2 to 3 weeks.
I can't tell you how many times my wife tells me, you know, I'm driving over this every day. Sorry, go around. I figured out how to get around.
We're going to grind out the really bad spots and get them fixed as well.
Okay.
Like we did last year on around the park area.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
Okay.
going to do that down through the curve because as we do this infrastructure project going forward, all those roads are going to be tore out. So.
Bert, if I could double back to what you said a moment ago with the water plant. So what did that look like? Did we have to figure something out with the EPA? Did we need to disclose to them that?
Just a bunch of false information.
Yeah, I mean, just obviously make sure they know that it needs done either way.
No, yeah, and they're well aware of the issues with
Yeah.
the 1934 water plant.
Yeah.
But the environmental impacts, look at it from them, they were told that we were building it just for that reason, and nothing could be further from the truth.
Yeah.
And once they got us all together, they kind of realized that was a true statement.
Yeah.
The water they're going to be demanding is minimal compared to what the water plant can produce. So.
I don't see any other service department people here. Okay, council comments?
Well, Mayor, I want to go back to your statement about the scooters and the golf carts. I just hope the people in our village understand that you would not want to be the car driver that hits one of the students and causes serious injury or death. And that's the thing that we're trying to avoid. So parents, please talk with your students, talk with your young people, and also the golf cart drivers. Understand you would not want to be the person that caused an injury to somebody because somebody ran a stop sign.
Thank you.
Do you have any audience comments?
Yeah, no, we do not.
Okay.
I do have one more thing.
We have,
There's the Ashwood ponds do not drink. They fill up with water and that's what the pump and stuff has been set out here on Circle Avenue for the last month. We found where the tile comes through there. We've been pumping the pond down, for what it's worth, what we can, because all three of those ponds up there are all hooked together, so it's a really slow process. Once we get it pumped down, I'm going to enter into contract with Zach from D&K Excavating to run a 12-inch tile where we found it out here on grade. I've already talked with Ronnie Clifton. We're going to work with him. He's going to work with us to give us an easement all 1,500 feet to find daylight on that tile so that it can gravity drain and we don't have to put in a pumping station. This has been a problem from what I understand for 25 years ever since it was done. But it's backing up people's basements. It's causing excessive sump pump running. It's causing flooding. It's caused the road up there to heave up and wash out. So I replaced the road last year, probably mainly because of it. So the estimate, and this is not exact, but about $52,000 is what the estimate I got for doing it is. I think it'll be the best $52,000 we spend this year.
And where is that exactly, Bert?
It's, you know where Rusty Radford lives?
Yeah, by the school, high school.
Yeah, beside the school. We found a tile. There's a tile that runs from Ashtonwood's Pond that ends up there in his yard.
Oh.
And it goes back to the ditch. Well, we found it back there in the ditch, and we're going to hook onto it. We're going to jet clean the line between the manhole there, and we're going to clean it all out so that we have good gravity flow.
Okay.
And like I said, about 1,500 feet downstream is where it daylights, and we can get consistent flow. So we quit flooding those people.
I do have one audience comment here. I forgot. I'm sorry. Margaret Eagle, is that right? Okay. Apologize for that. It got mixed in the shuffle. Thank you, Jesse.
Hi. By no means am I a professional speaker or lawyer or anything. I've just been a longtime Asheville resident. I live on St. Paul Road, and we've been here for over 30 years. I've been coming to the meetings and doing the online as much as I can for probably the last 8 months. One of my questions, just a real easy question, is I keep seeing the same questions as far as the data center and as far as the planning and things like that being asked meeting after meeting, but I never see where the answers are. And as a resident, I'm finding it difficult to see what the council really feels. What is left for me to see as a resident is other people's comments, or I'm actually going to other communities and reading their information as far as from what's happening with the data center. And I find that very frustrating. Yes, I live slightly out of township, but this is definitely going to affect the other 14,000 non-township residents too. And I don't know if that's because of an NDA. I don't know if it's for legal, solicitor reasons, whatever. But I've heard a lot of talk about transparency and facts, but when you're a resident who's trying to be engaged and you have to go to 10 sources and figure out the common denominator between the 10 sources and not getting it from the council itself, that's very frustrating as to what the next step is, what changed, like from a 10-mile radius to a 6-mile radius. now there's talk with the power board about a 2-mile radius. I mean, there's a lot of details that have changed for the center that I never heard answers from the council itself. And I don't know if that's the plan because of legal reasons, but I know there's a lot of residents out there that are trying to be non-emotional about certain things and try to be professional and courteous and things like that. But it's hard when you can't find. So is that where, as a resident, you have to make an appointment with somebody to find out the answers to the questions? I mean, how do you find out?
Well, you certainly
What's the
can do-
fact?
You can do that, to talk with Bert, the village administrator.
Okay.
I've answered via social media a couple times, facts versus non-facts. But yet, if you don't see it, you don't see it. There's been public hearings trying
Which
to
I've
explain
attended.
it. And, but I think the best source would be for you to reach out and, talk with Bert.
Okay.
We're doing the best we can, but there is no non-disclosure agreement, and this council is committed to not signing one.
Okay.
There's certain privileged information that can be protected, but we're not signing a general non-disclosure agreement. Period.
Okay.
Everything that pretty much everything we know,
Okay.
So I would call the office and try to get with Bert
Okay.
and write your questions, and he'd be happy to answer them.
Okay.
And you're welcome to email me as well too. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I'll give you a card. I don't have one sitting out here right now, but yeah, I answer my email pretty much all hours of the day. Ask my wife. She loves it. But yeah, happy to.
I do too. I get accused that it's attached to my hands.
Yeah. But yeah,
As far as the water situation goes, there's a lot of people who live outside the township that are on wells. So when they tap the aquifer and we start going through, I saw 50,000 gallons of wastewater and things like that. Is there any provision you guys are looking at to protecting the wells that are already established for the Asheville City people? Because it's quite possible that once this water starts getting used at the rate that it's going to affect not only residents, but could also affect farmers and other things just for the amount of water that's being processed.
Bert can answer your question.
Yeah, I can answer all that stuff. If you want to send me emails and stuff
Okay.
with all your questions. They're not drilling wells. There are no wells on that property allowed to be drilled, period.
Right, but I'm saying the existing
The
wells,
existing wells we have are down here by the creek, and they'll pump all the water for them. 50,000 gallon of water out of a 1.3 million gallon a day water plant is very minuscule amount. They're not really going to increase our flows at all.
okay,
And what they actually, as we replace the infrastructure, old infrastructure that they're going to be funding, as they replace that, old water lines that are leaking, and at the end of the day, we'll probably make water at that point.
so for people who live with wells now that are in the Asheville but out of township, you don't see where all of a sudden you're going to have residents who are having problems with wells.
We haven't had it in the last 50 years.
Okay.
And nothing is, yes, our volume's gonna go up. I mean, we also have 1,200 homes coming in.
Well,
We
that's
also-
another question.
There's a lot of moving parts to all
Right.
this. And the data center is not the biggest
Roger.
part of it all. I mean, it's the biggest land area part, but it's not the biggest part. We still have a lot of other things going on. But million gallon a day out of our aquifer is not
Okay.
So,
much water.
if you please, we have a 5-minute limit, so would you?
So that's fine.
write
I'll
your-
email him.
Would you write your questions and send them to him, because we'd be happy
Okay.
to answer them. And thank you for your information.
Oh, thanks.
thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may ask a question, kind of piggybacking off the first statement there. As you're speaking, I'm looking around on the village website, so this is a question probably more for Bert and April. how much of a lift would it be to create some kind of portal or FAQ on our website? Because we've got, historical posts and letters and things like that, but some kind of central repository on, key questions that come up time and again, links to OPSB, just sort of, to her point, a centralized area of information. Because I do understand it is, most of us have been living with this every day for the last, 6+ months, right? And I
there's
kind
a
of
lot
understand.
false information that's.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. So what would it look like for us to create, even if it's a page on our website, that's just a central repository of information and kind of helpful on what still is remaining to happen, what, approvals and things like that we can publicly share at this time need to happen?
I don't think there's anything that we can't share right now. I mean, we don't know the approval of the OPSB site board.
Right. But even that would be
That's not
something,
us, but that's.
right. But that would be something I would put on there, that OPSB, and I think I know they gave a handout on
Yeah, and
what
think
that
their
process looks
timeline
like.
is like October-ish.
Yeah.
That's what I
Mhm.
got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's like a whole flow chart of the process that goes through that OPSB shared.
Right.
So
And I'll see if I can find that information or get EdgeConnect to send me what information they have on it, the OPSB, and I'll put some stuff together and put it on the website.
Yeah, and my question more is, can we create instead of it being a post or something that someone has to search for, kind of hey, here's an extra page on our website that's got FAQs, right?
I'm sure we can. I mean, that's.
I wouldn't think that'd be too much of a
totally
lift.
Problem, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they can. I won't say problem.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm sure that will get that done.
okay.
Thank you.
Because there is a lot of questions that people don't, the answers they're getting aren't right.
Council, have any other comments, closing comments?
Yep, I have closing comments. Yep.
Good.
So to speak a little bit more about what Bert was just saying over the weekend about a lot of stuff kind of floating around, some factual, some misinformation. When I was looking through that stuff this weekend, I took some time and put some stuff out too to try to just make it more clear, make it a little bit more understandable about what was being posted, and some of it was factual, some of it was being taken out of context, and so I felt that it was necessary to address it, and probably gave up a little bit more of my weekend than I should have, but that's okay. So, but one of the posts that I did come across was from Sue Carter Moore, and I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge what she said. In fact, I actually appreciate that she recognized an important truth. This council is not responsible for the position that the village now finds itself in. And the roots of the situation go back years through previous councils, previous administrations, and long-standing gaps in constituent involvement. She did also note that something else that deserved attention was the potential referendum that would not stop the data center. But what it could do, however, is place the Asheville Council with further legalities. So just think about that for a second. Let it settle in. Think about maybe what it means. I'm not trying to make any assumptions, but the implication is hard to ignore. If it is understood that the data center cannot be stopped, then pursuing a referendum that delays or stops the DSA term sheet, I feel is reckless, and it will cost all the residents in Asheville real money. If not most, that's money that they might not have right now. And that is a choice that comes with real consequences for our residents, our services, and our long-term stability. So I'm just going to close out with a quote from Nelson Mandela. I feel like it's very appropriate for this moment. And the quote is, "Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for your enemy to die. We cannot afford to operate from resentment. We must operate from responsibility, clarity, and a commitment to move Asheville forward." Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
You have any comments?
No comments at all.
no, I don't have any.
Got nothing.
Daryl? No. Jeff, do you have any more comments?
Yeah, I will make a very brief comment. So I have seen some of the email traffic. I'm personally not on Facebook, but I'm made aware of some of the posts and some of the things that are put on there. and I just responded to a resident earlier today to one of their emails requesting civility and requesting, if not understanding, some grace, right? And I'll continue to request that. One thing I want to be careful of, though, is that we don't start to make that a one-way ask. And I think that we do need to appreciate the concern that folks do have. And Bert, to your earlier point, you know, when you're saying they're spreading information that's not factual. In some cases, I think that is probably true. In other cases, I think that it's unknown what the facts are, and nobody knows what the true facts
Right,
are.
but
We're-
to spread
right.
terror over something you don't know.
Sure, but to spread false assurance would be just as bad.
I wouldn't say assurance, I'm just
Right.
saying that's not true.
Right, but I think that we need to be careful that we don't start to, sorry, again, I'm a little jet lagged, so I'm trying to find the right words here. But I think we need to make sure that we're also acknowledging that while we live this every day and have been living this every day and have been taking a lot of heat for it, not everyone in the community does, right? And they are going to see things, and I think having this centralized information would be a help. It's not going to alleviate all of that, right? But I think we need to be careful not to be dismissive of concerns, because we see and hear information every day, and I think that it's important that we all show each other grace and some humility, and that none of us fully understands all the facts. We have to make educated guesses. We have to make the best decision with the information we have available, and that's what we're all trying to do. I can assure you from the council perspective that we're all taking that very seriously. But again, thank you all for your engagement and continued participation, and I will stop now.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, folks.